Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of State of the Jungle presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Malik Wright, joined by my co-host as always. We've got Logan Fulmer, we've got Evan McPhillips, and we have a special guest joining us in the First Star Logistics War Room studio. We got Drew Garrison in the building. What's going on, Drew?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. Glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. As we always say before every single show, make sure you guys give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and join in on the action. As you guys may have seen, we went through every single pick 2 weeks ago for the Cincinnati Bengals. We even made a trade, right? We debated every single pick. We hammered the table for guys that we love. What we're going to ask of you guys is for you guys to be the scouts, right? So put your favorite players that are still on the board in the comment section. Let us know if we're idiots for the picks that we make. Let us know if you love the picks that we make. One thing's for sure, two things to be certain is that this is going to be an unforgettable draft. With that being said, we are going to start with the first round. And again, if you just joined the live stream, make sure you guys give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You are now entering into the State of the Jungle War Room Edition mock draft 2.0.
Woo.
Daniel, let's get this thing started.
Kick it off, baby.
So yeah, man, we're pretty pumped up about this. Excited to see who's going to be the pick. Oh, man, we already got some picks flying off the board. I don't know if I saw who went first. Who went first overall? Bryce Young, as expected.
Will Levis to the Raiders. That's interesting.
I expect Will Levis to be a Colt, but, I think that's going to be something that's going to take care of itself.
Joey Porter Jr.
Joey Porter, a Steeler.
Who dey to everybody in the comment section, too. We appreciate Michael Mayer to the Ravens. If that's tight end galore. Come on now.
We got some fun things to discuss already.
All right. Well, Daniel, since, before we even jump into it, if we can scroll all the way up, to the first 15 picks, just want to see what's going on here, see what we missed. Okay, so CJ Stroud was the first overall quarterback taken off the board, right? CJ Stroud was the first quarterback taken off the board. And for those of you who want to know in the comment section, we're using the PFF mock draft simulator before. I know a lot of people had that question. They wanted to know, what mock draft simulator are you guys using, right? I expect Bryce Young to actually be the first overall quarterback taken off the board, too. I've been banging the table since the combine about that. Okay, let's keep it scrolling a little bit. Let's get to, pick 10. I don't think anything really shocks me too much. Nothing. Isn't it weird? Every single mock draft, I don't care what PFF simulator you're using or what. Quentin Johnson is a guy that's always one of the first people, taken by the New England Patriots. Doesn't matter what mock draft simulator you use. So there might be some smoke there. Let's keep it going. That's interesting. The Packers take Nolan Smith, a guy I know that the Bengals like. Darnell Wright, a guy that we love,
man,
a guy that we love who likes to DM people and curse people out.
Great vocabulary.
That's a guy that we were definitely looking at, a guy that I was salivating, hoping he would be there. Michael Mayer to the Ravens. I would say that's not too realistic, right? I don't think the Ravens are going to be in the tight end market. They got Mark Andrews. They drafted Isaiah Likely.
They love their tight ends. What are you talking about?
I don't think them drafting Michael Mayer is really likely. I don't think that's too.
They're trying to keep Lamar. Tight ends the only guys they can throw to anyway.
Yeah. So we got Bijan Robinson off the board, and Miles Murphy, a guy the Bengals really like. They brought him for a visit.
Pass rush and upside, but I mean, at the same time, that's basically taking a nose tackle in the first round.
Yeah,
I love Mozzie Smith. Yeah. I'm a Michigan fan, though. I love Mozzie Smith.
Would you feel like that's adequate value taking him in the first round, or you feel like you could wait to the second?
I do. I think he's risen up draft boards. He was a second round pick for the most part, but he's kind of shot up here lately. I think Mozzie Smith's going to be a monster. I saw a few mocks with him going to Philly, and that was terrifying because that defensive line plus him. I think Mozzie Smith's going to be great, but there might be a little bias there for him.
I don't think it's a little early, I'd say, but it's not the most surprising pick at the end of the day. Obviously, like I said, a little early, but he's got a lot of upside there. So, Dallas, they kind of their star-studded team. If they took a high upside swing, not the worst thing in the world.
Okay, let's see. Now the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Let's see what the Buffalo Bills do. The Buffalo Bills take Osiris Torrance, the guard, man. I mean, honestly, the Buffalo Bills had some offensive line issues, right? They had, they definitely need They definitely needed to fix that. We're officially on the clock here. We got to make the Bengals selection. Some of the guys that we like are sitting here. Dalton Kincaid, Brian Breesy. You got Anton Harrison. This is the point where we all bang the table. At the end of the day, I'm the GM. I'm going to make the call, but you guys are some of my most trusted people to count on, right? Let's figure out what we're going to do here at 28 for the Cincinnati Bengals. But Daniel, before we do, can we just go to the trade? We have one trade offer on the board. I want to see what that trade offer is. Okay. The Chicago Bears are offering us, I don't know.
No, it looks like they're asking you. They're interested in trading, so you've got to send them an offer. I'm not really that interested. I like the names that are on the board right now.
I'm the Cincinnati Bengals. We don't make trades with people unless it's a fleece, right? We're not making a trade with anybody unless you're offering me your next first-round pick for the next 10 years. But let's keep it going. Dalton Kincaid is on the board. Brian Breesy. Logan, kick this one off. Who you want? Who you want and why?
I mean, looking at these people here, Brian Breesy is pretty tempting here. I know he's been through a lot as, a college football player. He's gone through a lot off the field, on the field. It's been a lot, but I think, he was a former #1 recruit in his class. He's a name that sticks out to me immediately. We need that 3-tech position. He does a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of a risk because, you'd like to see better film, more consistent film, but he does flash dominance sometimes. And again, when he's got the mind right and everything, he's been very good. It's just, he's been dealt a pretty crappy hand so far. And, you can only do with that so much as you will. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes down here is also tempting. I'm definitely leaning more of the defensive side here. But I'd like to look at some of the edges and corners still as well.
What do you like, man? We've got 8 minutes to, make a selection.
No, I agree with what he said about Breesy from Clemson, that he had a lot going on last year where obviously his sister passed away unexpectedly. I know he had some other health issues of himself, and he didn't really regain his form until the end of the season and looked really good in that championship game against the Tar Heels. So I definitely think if you're confident that, you feel like he can be that high-end guy when everything's right, then that's absolutely worth the pick there. I like what Logan pointed out too with Emmanuel Forbes there. Reports are that he's upwards of 170 pounds now. How much of that weight is good weight is up for debate, but the fact is the matter that he can get over 170, which helps to ease those concerns about his 0th percentile weight class there. So I definitely like those two picks. I'm with Logan here, where I really like the defensive names on the board, including your favorite, Will McDonald.
What about you, Drew? What do you like?
Listen, man, first and foremost, stop telling us to draft a tight end in the first round. I can't do it. You can get a quality starter between rounds 2 and 4. I think in the tight end market, you can see that all the time. I was really hoping a right tackle was going to be here and get the bookend tackle squared away with Orlando Brown Jr. on the left. I was hoping for Darnell Wright on the right. I really, 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 really like DeJuan Jones here, but I know it feels like a reach. And what scares me is when you reach for picks is how you get Billy Price. All right. We were able to flip Billy Price into BJ Hill, thankfully. So when I'm looking at the board here with what's here, I don't like Anton Harrison enough to take him here. I don't want anything to do with Kincaid. I saw that he got cleared today. He got the letter sent out clearing him. That's awesome. Good for him. Stay away from tight ends in the first round. I'm going to go with Emmanuel Forbes. He ran a 4.35. He's fast. Cheeto's coming off a blown knee. Cheeto's also going into a contract year. We don't know if he's going to come back. Bengals love first-round corners as it is. If I was turning in the card, I'm probably going Forbes here.
Okay, so there's a lot of picks for us to choose from, but before I make my case, we've got 6 minutes on the clock. Make sure you guys give this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join in the conversation. I want to see what some of the scouts, the area scouts we have in the comment section are saying. It seems like a lot of Bengals fans and a lot of people in the Bengals community love Emmanuel Forbes now, right? We'll see about that. Let's see what some people are saying here. Forbes for 2024. Forbes. That's what all I'm seeing is Forbes. Adewale, I'm seeing Brian Breesy. I'm seeing trade down. I'm seeing take DeJuan Jones. I'm seeing that's pretty much what I'm seeing. I'll tell you what I like. I'm
interested here. There's a guy I think you might like here as well.
So Emmanuel Forbes, let's talk about this for a second. Emmanuel Forbes would provide cornerback of the future upside, right?
You need that. You need next year,
right? Because the question that we're facing, right? We all want Cheeto back. We don't know if Cheeto, right? We don't know if Cheeto is going to get outpriced out of Cincinnati, right? And if we can keep him here, if we can afford to keep him,
is he going to be the same guy after the knee?
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
corner,
I would just say
We
the
don't know.
medicine is a lot different now, right? We haven't heard any. We don't have any tea leaves to make us think that
We got 5
medicine that
minutes,
it
5
won't
minutes.
be that. We got 5 minutes to work with. Man, we're going down the clock on here.
I
Daniel,
know.
do me a huge favor here. Let's go to defensive end for a
Yep.
second. There's a guy that I
Yep.
like here by the name of Old McDonald had a farm, and I really, really like this guy. I really, really like Will McDonald. To me, he's an underrated pass rusher. I like his length. I like his size. I know everybody's been screaming BJ Ojulari here, here, because they think that he has a ridiculous amount of pass rushing moves. But I have a couple of questions when it comes to the running game and things of that nature. When it comes to BJ Ojulari,
I definitely consider Will McDonald's weight, right? Because that's below the Bengals threshold
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
they've drafted for
True.
defensive
Well,
ends.
we are
They
the
would be
Bengals.
going out, well,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But that would be outside of the norm for what has traditionally been the
Yeah.
pick at edge.
You know, I'll tell you right now, Dalton Kincaid to me is another guy, right?
It's fun.
His injury concern is a concern for me. Daniel, if we can go to the tight end position, I know we have 4 minutes to work with the race against time. This is actually a tough pick here because, oh man, Dalton Kincaid. So I think we have to ask ourselves about Tyler Boyd, the future of Tyler Boyd.
Absolutely.
Right? You draft a guy like Dalton Kincaid, you're less worried about the future of Tyler Boyd. You are, right? Because Dalton Kincaid replaces those reps, right? So let's simplify it. Who are we choosing between? If you ask me, we're choosing between two guys right now. I think we're choosing between Dalton Kincaid and Brian Breesy. That's what I think we're choosing between right now. Is there anybody that object? I know Emmanuel Forbes is the consensus pick. The weight is a concern for me, though.
I will. The only other person I do want to shout out a little bit is BJ Ojulari. I know you talked about Will McDonald, but at the end of the day, BJ Ojulari is one of the youngest players in the draft, and Will McDonald happens to be one of the oldest. And you know, from an organizational standpoint, we like people who are leaders. And you know, LSU always gives out their numbers for their captains, for their high character players.
3 minutes to work
and he was given one of those numbers this year, so he checks a lot of boxes for what we typically like as a player. I think he needs to be in consideration a little more, but I still think Brian Breesy is a little ahead for me, but I just needed to get that out there before time ran out.
Before I take a tight end here, I would reach on DeJuan Jones. DeJuan Jones is a mammoth of a human being.
Absolutely
And I think
not.
he could be a bookend. I'm
Nobody-
telling you, tight end in the
nobody
first, I
is
can't do
taking-
it unless it's Kyle Pitts.
Nope, not taking DeJuan Jones. Listen.
Before I took a tight end, I would.
I'd take Anton Harrison before I took DeJuan Jones.
Nah, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Man, dude,
Listen, he has boom or bust potential. There's no in between with that guy. And I don't trust Ohio State offensive line. We got 2 minutes and 31 seconds to work with as well.
Let's go back to our picks.
Man, I feel like it's between Forbes and Breesy for me, man. Like I
agree,
especially with the need for corner. Again, Cam Taylor, Britt, Mike Hilton, only corners under contract as it stands.
I will say this interior defensive line class is much weaker than the corner class. You can probably find some more quality corners down the board to where defensive line,
it's a good argument.
Specifically 3-tech, is probably going to get thin pretty quick.
All right, we're going to make the pick. I think it's time to make the pick. Daniel, do me a huge favor. Let's go over to let's go to corner.
There we go. Okay, I'm with that.
All right, with the 28th overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals, we're going to select Emmanuel Forbes.
There we go.
That's what we're
that.
going to do. That's going to be our pick. All right. Emmanuel
I
Forbes
respect
going to be
it.
our
Good
pick.
pick. Good pick.
All right, so Emmanuel Forbes is our pick.
Breesy to the
And just so you
Chiefs.
guys know, the
Breesy to the
reason
Chiefs.
why I did that is because I think that there is some high upside with some of these 3-tech guys in the next round and the round after that as well. And I feel like I don't want to reach on a guy that has had injury concerns.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Totally
I just don't know if I'm in love I'm in love with that.
I mean,
Look how this fell, though. We're in trouble. Breesy to the Chiefs, and then Dalton Kincaid to Pittsburgh right after.
Listen, if Steve Spagnuolo, right, who's the most overrated defensive coordinator in the National Football League, is willing to put 3-tech defensive tackles, right, at edge, I'll take that all day. Now, the one fear I do have is Brian Breesy played his best at edge.
Yeah.
So that is still sort of a fear, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. Let's keep it going. Okay, so Dalton Kincaid goes to the Steelers. Will McDonald to the Texans.
DeJuan Jones
Everybody's
to the
flying off. A lot of people
to
like
the
flying
Rams.
off.
That's a good pick.
I'm okay with DeJuan Jones being overvalued. I'm cool with that. That's fine by me. Jameer Gibbs to the Jets. That
Inching
hurts.
Up, Ringo's. We just
Hendon Hooker to the Patriots.
Ooh,
Okay.
the
Jalen Hyatt
Patriots
to the
getting their guy.
Lions.
The Pittsburgh took another tight end, Darnell Washington.
Oh,
committing
man.
to the run.
Pittsburgh took Darnell Washington. as
Yeah.
well?
Put him at tackle.
It just had
Oh my God. Well, I guess Pittsburgh's GM needs to get
Loves
fired
tight ends.
at this
We're
point.
good.
Bijo Jolari to the Panthers. Luke Musgraves to
tight
the
end.
Jets.
Keely
Jets to
Ringo
also
to
take
the
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Packers. I like that.
Oh, man.
Bergeron's gone
Bergeron.
too. Avila.
Okay.
Laporta's gone. Moog's gone. No.
See, I like Laporta a lot.
I like Laporta a lot too.
All right.
Here we go. Coming
Cody
up.
Mouch.
Giants
Dang.
are on the clock.
Falsky off the board already.
Yeah. What we got?
Okay.
Linebacker. Keanu Benton's a good
Let's see
pick
what the
there.
Bills do next. The Bills take Siaki Iki. Let's go.
It's a
Okay, all
Bills
right.
pick.
That is definitely a
That's a
Bills
Bills
pick, right?
pick.
Right.
It's a good one, but it's a Bills pick.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's
There's-
see
mm-mm-mm.
what's what. The clock is about to start for us and put us on the clock. If I want to see what tight ends are available.
Yeah.
That is a position that
I don't know if there's any.
yeah, I know.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing is you got to try and find that value meets
Kraft.
need. And you could take Kraft here, but I think that's you got to really like him if you're going to take him right now.
You know what I'm in the mood of?
Mm.
I'm in the belief that we should draft BPA. That's the feeling that I
Yeah,
get here,
I
right?
agree.
Because too many times, right, we see a guy sitting there on the board and we're like, oh, we're not going to take him because of X, Y, Z, and this, then the third.
Mhm.
How about just drafting BPA or at least seeing what's available BPA, right?
Mhm.
We have needs at running back. Potentially, we have needs at defensive line. We have needs at a couple other positions as well, a tight end.
Well,
Let's go to the running back. See what running backs are on the board right now.
BPA is one of the benefits, though, of having a team without a ton of gaping holes, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's what free agency's for, right?
Exactly.
Free agency's for filling those needs. The draft is for getting talented players for your football team.
I mean, Zach Charbonnet is pretty tempting right there at ranked 60, pick 60 makes a lot of sense. This is gonna be interesting. I see at the top of the board
those later options at running back though. I did see Tooley from USC was up there, man. He's still young. He's under 21 years old. I don't think he'll be 21 until the season even kicks off. He's talented, man. And Lou Anarumo was out there at USC's Pro Day personally watching him. So that's definitely someone that I've got my eye on.
And he's been very versatile as well. I know at the combine he weighed in lighter than a lot of people were expecting, but he played inside, he played outside. He did it a lot for USC, and he played phenomenally well in the Pac-12, as consistently being one of the youngest guys on the field, like Evan just alluded to. He checks a lot of boxes. The weighing in smaller kind of threw some people off, but even if he is just an edge, he's still a good edge. He might lose some versatility, but the age, how he produced and just everything checks a lot of boxes for me.
And you put on weight quick in the NFL anyway. They can get him exactly where they want him to be in a month.
Totally.
I'm curious to look at some of the defensive linemen available actually right now. Because I do see the value. My guy Keaton Mitchell, right? That's a guy that I'm eyeing, of course.
So here's our interior options.
Pretty low on the interior guys.
Yeah. I know last time I was banging the table for one guy that's sitting here, and we didn't go. I think we might have got him later in the draft, but you know what?
Talking about McGuire or White?
McGuire, man.
Okay.
That's but not here. Not here. We don't go him here.
I think we can be patient.
Yeah, I think we can be patient here.
What positions are we kind of looking at? You guys think? Is it just on the D line? Well, I guess we should probably look at the tackles. We haven't looked at that yet.
Yeah, let's look at the offensive tackles that are available.
With DeJuan Jones, kind of fallen off of the board there early. Do we feel like there are maybe going to be some tackles here that?
I mean,
it's already looking pretty slim.
Yeah, you're going to be reaching on one of these guys. I feel like if you're going to be hunting for a tackle.
Yeah,
at 60, absolutely.
I'm not taking any of these guys at 60.
Yeah,
I'd almost rather look later in the draft. I know it's going to be just nails on a chalkboard to a lot of people's ears, but there are guys that you can get like a McClendon, like a Nick Salvadiri that. They are solid options.
So we can agree we're all not going the tackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not 60.
I like that D line. I like how that's looking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, running back, Charbonnet is pretty interesting as well. We talked about, but
let's. We've got 6 minutes to work with. Let's
time.
go. I know we dipped already at cornerback. Let's go back to cornerback for a second.
You're gonna double up.
I mean,
I was going to say, if you want to try and sell me on Brents and just go back to back, you don't have to pull my arm.
I feel like we got to take Travius Hodges-Tomlinson off the board. I feel like a lot of Bengals fans still look at that, but I think he's way too small.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Julius Brents a lot.
I
also like Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah.
I love Julius Brents. I just have trouble going back to back on premium picks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I understand. It's not crazy. I mean, it's just listen. There's something in the league you can never have too much of: defensive linemen But
and we talk about Cheeto coming out in the questions there. And not enough people really talk about how bad Mike Hilton struggled down the stretch at the end of the year last year. And he's older. We all love Mike Hilton. He's great when he's good, but he did struggle. He is going to be 30, or he is 30. Needing another corner isn't the worst thing. I don't know if this is the value right. There's a lot of good players here, but it'd be tough to take 2 corners at the start. But it really might be PPA.
Logan, you were the boots on the ground for us, right, throughout this entire process. Sell me on Thule.
Oh man, I mean, kind of like I was talking about earlier, he did a lot for USC. He played inside, he played out, he played some 3-tech, he played edge, he played even out 9 wide a lot as well. He did a lot for USC, and he played very, very well as he was being most of the time the youngest player on the field, no matter who he was going up against. And USC's defense isn't very good. They had to score a lot of points, so he was asked to do a lot, and he was asked to do a lot in a hurry. He had a lot of pass rushing opportunities because their offense did score so much, but he can do a lot. The reasons I love him so much is because of the production at the age. He's still 20 years old. Like we were talking about, he's one of the youngest players. He might even be the youngest player in the draft. He checks a lot of boxes, and there's still time to develop. I mean, if he's drafted here, by the time his second contract comes around, he'll be 24, 25. That's phenomenal value.
Yeah.
That's a good, not even issue. You can get your hands on him and continue to develop him in any way you want.
I just got sold.
Last season, he had a pass rush win rate of 19.1%, which was near elite territory. So you're talking about 1 in every 5 attempts. He's getting pressure
while being the only good edge rusher they have. So it's not like he was feeding off of another good edge rusher. He was just everybody's main concern on the USC defense, and he performed as the youngest player on the field.
Do me a favor, if we can scroll down on the board a little bit more. Oh man,
I mean,
there's guys I like, but none that I like better than Thule.
I mean,
right.
Not at this point in the draft.
All right, so we're gonna turn the pick in. We're all in agreement, Julie here.
I love having a good pass rush rotation and fresh legs to cycle in and out throughout the game. So you got Asai behind Hubbard and Hendrickson right now, and you add to that. Logan, you did good.
Because for me, the two picks here are either Julius Brents or Thule. You ask me.
Yeah, that's why I mean the corner early. It hurts seeing the people who are here a little bit, but Forbes is still the best, better than all of them. Forbes is phenomenal. Pairing him with these guys would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm going Thule.
Thule. All right, we're going to draft Thule, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, I was going to say
we will call him Thule for the next 10 years.
Thule T. Let's get it. Thule T.
Thule T for the next 10 years.
There we go. 2
We
defensive
got our guy.
Let's go.
Julius Brents goes to the Eagles. Okay,
Yeah,
Julius Brents goes to the
Oh,
Eagles.
that's
Another corner coming off the board.
I was going to say, yeah, that's what you probably hoped Byron Maxwell was going to be.
That was a
Malik's
trade.
guy, Clark Phillips.
I like DJ Turner, man.
I love DJ Turner. I try not to show my Michigan bias, but he's so
he
good.
is, man.
Wait, can we press pause really quickly? Can we press pause really quickly? I want to offer. Oh man, he's went off the board. That's the guy that I wanted just now.
What, Tanner McKee?
Tucker Kraft, man. I was going to try to make a trade. I was going to try to make a call just now with the Colts and try to see if we can get Tucker Kraft, but he's off the board.
They were itching for him.
My guy Kev just texted me. He says Tucker Kraft! Exclamation! 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 So we screwed up there with Tucker Kraft and not getting our tight end. I guess Irv Smith's going to have to be that guy that we all wanted him to be. Let's keep it going.
I mean, for a year in the Bengals tight end contract factory, he'll be all right.
Javon Dexter goes to the Colts.
That's good value, man. That's really good value down there for him.
Tajay Spears to the Dolphins.
Wilson. Garrett Williams, good value.
Tyler Steen to the Jags. Good pick. Good pick.
We're coming up.
All right, let's see what's on the board. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're now on the board. Okay.
There's some interesting guys here.
All right. I feel like this has been a defensive draft.
It has, man. Defense has been staring you in the face.
I feel like this has been a defensive draft.
It might be over though. Maybe. There's some good defensive players here, man.
All right. Let's go to let's see what running backs are on the board. Let's show the offense a little love right here. Show the offense a little love.
I kind of like that pivot here.
And regardless of what happens with Mixon, we need another running back in the room.
You're gonna need something eventually. I mean,
Kendre Miller. I like Kendre Miller.
I do too. That's kind of who I was looking at here. I like Kendre.
I like Roshan.
He's my RB1 here. He's
really
that's left. Yeah,
Roshan Johnson. Man,
yeah,
that seems like
I mean, it's pretty tempting immediately. Yeah. I mean, Kendry's pretty fun too. I mean, all these running backs are solid. I'm not going to sit here and say any of them are bad, but I think Roshan. I mean, backing up Bijan Robinson, you don't get the most love in the world when you're backing up one of the best running back prospects we've seen in a while. But he shined in the Senior Bowl in an area of pass blocking. That's the things the Bengals we
Mhm.
really covet. That's why P. Ryan played so much, and he was a tough loss because of that. So I think he, fits that style of play. Even if Mixon remains on the team, he's a good complement to that as well. But there's still a lot of good running backs here. So as much as I do like Roshan, there is still plenty of value at the running back position.
Yeah, I definitely like Kendra Miller. Just to touch on him a little bit right now, he was very elusive and great at breaking tackles.
Absolutely.
He ranked 21st out of all FBS running backs with at least 100 attempts and missed tackles forced. His elusive rating was near elite territory. His gap run scheme grade was an 86.4. So a guy who's been proven to be successful in a scheme similar to the Bengals and what they want to run and what they've kind of transitioned to. Also over 3.5 yards after contact, good size and weighing in at he's 5'11", 215, and he's still just 20. I think he'll be 21 by the time the season rolls around. So just a young guy who doesn't have a lot of mileage that I would definitely feel good about taking here.
And the gap scheme there is something that I'm really glad you pointed out, because everybody talked about the wide zone with Frank Pollock, the wide zone. But if you saw how it went down the stretch last season, they really did go to that gap scheme.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I like Miller so much, because I think he could almost plug and play in that regardless of if Mixon's, still in the room or not.
I like a lot of these backs. McBride deserves some.
Let's scroll down a little
recognition
bit more
as
on the running backs. Because here's the one thing we can keep saying: running back is deep. But we saw how quickly tight end flew off the board for us.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. So I think if there's a guy that you love, you go out there and you get him now. Do me one favor before we do that. Let's go to tight end.
And I want to point out that this may happen with the Bengals where they don't feel right about the value at tight end, and they say we have Irv Smith and we feel good about some of these later guys. Let's double dip on the back end in rounds 4 and 6 or what have you.
Let's make a deal right now. All right, we went defense the last 2 picks. Right? Can we all agree we've done that?
Yep.
If we come back around here in the 4th round, if Josh Weil still sitting there,
4th round?
That
feels early,
I don't
man.
think he's going to be there in the 5th.
Remember
Remember last time? Time there was a guy sitting on the board. There was a couple of guys actually sitting on the board. There was Keaton Mitchell, right?
Yep.
There was Keaton Mitchell sitting on the board, and then there was also a guy by the name of what was his name? Carrington Valentine, right?
Yeah.
And then you said, "Oh, he's not going to go early." And what happened the next pick?
Again, we're back to the Drew Sample scenario. Again, you
not the Drew
can't just
Sample
say,
scenario.
I know this guy's going to be
It's
better,
when
and
you
I know he's
see-
not going to be there.
Listen,
You have to consider
Okay.
the NFL opinion
Okay.
because you're not just drafting against yourself.
Can I be
You're
honest with
drafting
you?
against the
Can I be honest with
NFL.
you? I don't care about the NFL opinion. I care about this
Neither
team's
did the
opinion,
Bengals when
right?
they took Drew Sample, and everyone said we could have
I
waited
think
until
that
you
there
got
was
round
more
5.
to it. I think that was us. I think that was a young coaching staff coming into the building. They didn't have enough time to properly, get things correct. So
We're not talking about the tight end with the best hands on the board. I'm gonna sound like such a homer, but it's Luke Schoonmaker. He is.
Well, you're a
he's
Michigan
the
fan.
I know, and I'm
You're a
trying
Michigan
not
fan.
to do that.
You're a Michigan
I'm
guy.
trying not to do. He's the most sure-handed tight end left on the board.
I
See
feel
what
like
happens
Davis
when you see
Allen's
what
pretty solid
You
too,
see what
though.
happens when we hire Michigan guys to come working up the
Look,
front?
man, I'm
He's
trying
not
not
crazy,
to.
though. He's not
he
crazy,
has
though.
such good hand. He doesn't drop anything.
He's not crazy, but I still think we need to look at the tackles. I
do
know
too.
it's round 3.
I'd like to
We
take
need
a
to
look
check out the tackles before we go back to the
just
tight
to see
ends.
what's going on with it.
Is
But
this assuming that we just tell Jonah sorry about it? You're playing right tackle.
we'll figure that out after the draft. Oh man,
I would take Wanya Morris.
There's good value there.
But
At this
Roshan
spot.
Johnson.
but again, there's those other running backs that you
We
feel
say
good
that
about.
again, but will
That-
they be
I
here?
can tell you
Here's
there
the
are
thing.
8 running backs
Yes.
I feel good about. There is one
Well, it's
tackle
not
that
just
you
you
feel
in the
good
room. It's
about
all of
for-
us.
Yep. I think obviously we know there's good value here with Wanya Morris. Let's saying he is a pick like Malik was talking about. We need to game plan a little bit for the future here as well. Is it time to take a tackle, or do we want to? We still have running backs. We haven't drafted a tight end, and those are honestly could be the 2 most important needs. Like
The question,
gaping holes
the
currently.
question we have to ask is, do we feel good about Wanya Morris? Right, we're not drafting. We don't want to fall into we're just drafting a guy because we need a tackle.
Yeah.
Do we feel good about him as the right tackle of the future?
Well, that's what we have to look at this point, because if we're in the draft room, we have to say who is our starter at right tackle week 1 right now,
Right now, we got Jonah.
and he doesn't want to do it.
Right.
Yep.
So you're paying him his $12 million anyway. You could just okay.
Yep.
You don't want to play right tackle because you want to get paid. You're not going to get paid sitting on the bench.
Do
but
me a favor. Can
we
we
got
go
a
to
right tackle.
interior offensive lineman for a second?
Yeah. Wanya Morris also, worst case, even if Jonah does stay, he has played left and right tackle. So he's got the potential to develop in both regards, regardless.
Are you going to talk about Voorhees?
I saw it. I saw him there.
I know we're not going to probably get the value that we want this year, especially with the torn ACL. Boy, you talk about a guy that I think can come in and be a starting interior offensive lineman for us.
Bro, he blew his knee out and said, "It's cool. I got my bench press reps first."
Yeah. That was impressive.
What a dog.
But then you're looking at the long-term fit. You're assuming in 2024 he'd be competing for a starting spot over
probably Volson.
Yeah. So he is very tempting. I won't. He's good. When he was healthy, he was very good. I will not argue that.
Oh man, this is what happens in the war room.
I get so focused on this stuff too because I just think about when Burrow got good time this year and the Bengals went on a 10-game win streak.
Right.
And I'm just so focused on keeping that dude upright.
Right.
And I understand that you're punting on this pick for this year, right after the torn ACL, but man, he is a monster.
Yeah, I will say with Wanya Morris, too, as much as I do think that's an incredible value, the upside is there. There's real, bust potential as well. Like, he needs to develop. He may not be the best right tackle year one, but I do think he's a very high ceiling player. Obviously, for our needs, that might not be what we're looking for, but he's a good prospect, all things considered. But again, he's a prospect. He's not necessarily surefire, ready to go NFL week 1.
How do we feel about Chandler?
He's good. I mean, it just comes back to the guard thing again. Are you comfortable starting him over Volson? Is that the plan? What's the plan for a guard there for you? That's the question to answer. I think Volson is totally upgradable I'll be the first to tell you that. I've said that several times here. But is that what you want to do at this pick compared to we need tight end and need running backs? We may need a right tackle as well.
Cordell Volson's going to be fine. I think Voorhees could be a big upgrade in a year. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm not looking to upgrade from Cordell Volson. I feel like he catches so much heat from that first game against Pittsburgh where he got dropped in against one of the best D-lines in football as a fourth-round rookie.
Right. Listen, I appreciate everybody's opinion here.
GM hat.
He's pulling rank.
This is where I've got to put the GM hat on, and I got to pull the thing that I want right now. And it says if you want a guy, you go out there and you get your guy. Mm-hmm. I love you, brother. I do. I love you, man.
Here it comes.
Daniel, can we go to running back for a second?
Uh-oh.
Can we go to running back for a second? Give me Roschon Johnson. Give me Roschon Johnson. I'm not
even going to give you flack about that one. That's not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, give me Roschon Johnson.
I like it.
All right. Pass block, we're good.
Wait. How does everybody feel about that pick?
I love Roschon Johnson. I got a question for you though, Malik. Yeah. For as much as you really wanted Keaton Mitchell last time, what made you push Roschon over him this time?
Oh,
6 foot 220 versus 5'7".
We might double dip there.
I like that.
We might double dip there.
I think with Roschon,
I'm not done with Keaton Mitchell.
I think the thing with Roschon that I think he can do everything. He backed up Bijan, which is not his fault. You're not going to get as much opportunity in there. But when he did get the opportunity, he was phenomenal in every asset of the game: pass blocking, running the ball, receiving the ball. He can easily be a 3-down guy in the NFL. But if you just need him to be a pass blocker, he can just be a pass blocker. If you need him to catch passes, he'll just go catch passes. Right. He's a really solid pick there. Really solid.
And it's a 3-down back as well. So that's huge.
Super solid.
I like that there too, because I've been saying this for a long time, even into last year. I'm not hating on Joe Mixon, but the fact of the matter is the way the Bengals run their offense, they could cycle running backs every 3 to 4 years by getting them in these type of rounds. Mm-hmm. So that's a pick that I would be completely fine with. But I will say my boy Schoonmaker's now in Washington, so we lost him.
Yeah. Well, before we jump to the next pick, I did promise a big announcement.
Yes, sir.
A big announcement. Right, we did, right? Well, I'd like to formally announce that on April 28th, which is night 2 of the NFL draft, right? Rounds 2 and 3. First Star Logistics will be hosting its first ever Bengals annual draft party.
There we go.
Woo! Live from the Great American Ballpark, right? The Red Stadium. And we're really, really pumped about that. So make sure you guys, if you don't have any plans, night 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3, make sure you come kick it with us.
Friday night?
It'll be me. It'll be Dave Lapham. It'll be my guy, Evan McPhillips. The State of the Jungle crew will be there. Again, that is night 2 of the NFL draft live from the Great American Ballpark. It's going to be exciting. And this is something that, First Star is really, really excited about. I'm really, really excited about. We're really, really pumped about. It's going to be fun to go through all the picks with you guys and talk with you guys and be able to just talk ball. So again, night 2, April 28th, the NFL draft, Great American Ballpark. First Star will be hosting its first ever Bengals annual draft party, and I'm
Can't
really,
wait.
really pumped about it.
Friday
really,
night,
pumped up
beautiful
about it.
weather, downtown Cincinnati.
So yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. So yeah, pumped up. Let's keep it going with the draft though. The Raiders take Dorian Williams. Wanya Morris goes to the Niners.
Yep.
Dwayne McBride, Arnold, Jalen Jones. Keyshawn Boutte goes to the Patriots.
Yep. Kai Blue Kelly's a good player. It'll be interesting here. We're in round 4. You know, you're not just looking for now anymore.
And to answer your questions, it will be open to the public. Make sure you guys, keep it locked to my social medias. We'll have more information as it pertains to the draft party in terms of tickets and how you acquire those things. And so just make sure you guys just keep it locked. We'll have more announcements in the coming days as well about that. But just wanted to get that out there, right? To get you guys all plugged away with that. We're pretty excited about it. We're pretty excited to be hosting this thing, and it's going to be a great time. All right, so Chase Brown goes to Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So now we are on the board again.
Can we look at tackle real quick?
Let's look at tackle.
I think there might be someone there I'd be willing to put my feet on the table for. Okay, so there he is, Nick Saldiveri. This guy had almost 500 pass block snaps last season, allowed 0 sacks and only 16 hurries. I mean, I know you're talking about a smaller school guy, but this late in the game, what you're talking about, you got a guy who's 6'6", 318, has the good size, is maybe I think 33.5-inch arms, which is about half an inch under what the Bengals typically look at. But you're talking about a guy this late who has success, who has experience, who has the size. And if you get a guy with Frank Pollock with him, I feel like you could actually turn. Usually it's hard to find these tackles that are capable to stick in the NFL and play competently in the mid rounds. But I feel like Nick could definitely be one of those guys.
Now we're in the draft. Is Frank in here? No, good. It's time for Frank. It's time for Frank to prove himself a little bit here and develop a young guy. But I love a small school offensive lineman in a round like this.
Did it last year.
Teams win rings off that, right? And I like Cordell Volson a lot. I don't tolerate a lot of Cordell Volson slander, but I like Saldiveri here too as well. And
can we go to interior offensive lineman? I hear you guys. I'm listening. Keep going.
Yeah. No, just wanted to say my piece for that guy. I know our scouts from the chat.
Here's the thing. When the GM has to come in and shut the conversation down, we come in and we shut the conversation down. Listen, a guy that we really, really liked in round 3 was there. And you know what? We said, against our better judgment, we're going to bite the bullet. Why? For moments like this. You ever heard that song? Some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this. Andrew Voorhees is staring at us in the face. A year away from being our future all-pro guard. I like this move. We said the mission of this offseason was to protect number 9. Nothing against Cordell Volson, I promise you. Nothing against Cordell Volson, but guess what? If we're talking about drafting BPA and if we have a chance to get better, this is how you do it. Andrew Voorhees is the pick in the 4th round.
I like how you said all-pro, not Pro Bowl. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. With the way the board was set up, I didn't see Voorhees there before we started talking about it.
It's all good. That's why I'm here.
You got to run that pick in. You tell everybody in the room, shut up. I got the pick. I'm calling it in. I like Cordell Volson. He's a clear upgrade when he gets healthy.
To me, Malik, tell me to shut up. Go ahead.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to tell you to shut up. But I'll tell you this right now. Andrew Voorhees is the pick for the Cincinnati Bengals and the 4th round, and we clap. Let's go.
I forget about
we get our guy. Let's go. Let's see what else is happening.
I think with the Voorhees pick too, something that we all like Volson as well, but we all know he's probably upgradable, especially in the future. But something to consider with him and maybe even Voorhees with the year off is one of them probably should learn how to play center. You know, we love Ted. Everybody loves Ted. But if either one of those guys can give you that flexibility to learn that position as well, that pick becomes so much better because then, Ted's not the youngest and he's not on the longest deal either. So if any of those people can kind of provide you that in any way, that would be awesome as well.
Well, that's something that we need to look at, seeing how last season played out anyways. Having a guy that can play well in multiple positions that you can shuffle around seems to help because for whatever reason, we just keep running into O-line injuries.
And again, guys, if you guys could do us a huge favor, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Again, every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. from here until the night of the draft, we'll be doing mock drafts, doing a war room simulator just like this. And you guys keep it locked with us. Let's see who the Colts pick here. Okay. They draft tight end. I know Nick Saldiveri is here, but let's do us a favor. Let's go to tight end. Let's see what tight ends are available here because our area scouts are pissed at us. They said, you let this guy go, you let that guy go.
And here's your guy, Malik. Here's your guy 2 rounds later.
You know what? I was thinking about that. I also like Cameron Latu here. I do. I can't lie. I do. I know you don't. But I like him here. I didn't say I was going to draft him.
I can't do that.
I understand. Okay, that's fine. We can agree to disagree.
Scroll down a little bit here.
Let's
Daniel.
scroll down here.
Just curious at what other tight end. I like Brenton Strange a lot here. If we're taking a tight end too, to be honest. I mean, you talk about, for the year, for the positional value right now to complement Irv Smith, Brenton Strange. I said a top 10 pass blocking grade and a top 5 run blocking grade at the tight end positions the last 2 years, according to PFF. So there's a lot of value there in that. He kind of feels like, kind of the tight ends we really have liked in the past, a guy that can block and provide you some juice in the passing game. He can just do he's a little bit more well-rounded than maybe some of these other tight ends. Just deserves a shout there.
Well, you guys know what I'm actually going to do here, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He looked so good in the bubble already.
Give me Josh Weil here, tight end from Cincinnati. How we feel about that?
Hometown kid.
That's good, man. He's got the size. He's got the receiving chops. I mean, the contested catch rate is not quite where you'd want it for a guy who has that size. He was lower quartile, bottom 25%. Go ahead.
Before we hand that pick in, though, he is our pick here. I just want to see something real quick. Can you go to cornerback for a second?
Oh, gosh, here it comes. You looking for your Valentine?
I want to see if one of our guys is here.
I like Corey Trice out there, obviously, but
Trice is
we're leaning pretty hard one way, especially after taking 4.
I mean, he's ridiculous.
There he is.
He's really, really low on here.
But you know what? Let's do me a favor. Let's go back to tight end, and let's get our guy from Cincinnati. Let's keep him here.
I will say, are we just not drafting a tackle then at this point?
I feel like this is the Jonah plays right tackle draft.
I feel like
which is fine. Is fine. I just wanted to put that out there before we turn anything in. Or is that
it's not only that. It's
I try to tell him about Nick, and he
there's also listen. We still have a guy on the roster that I feel like everybody is forgetting about. Lyle Collins. Yeah. He's a guy that I know is not going to be necessarily healthy to start the season, but he's a guy that I am expecting back, right?
Come back week 10, fully healthy, and just give us your best football.
And I was say with Lyle now at this point, he was kind of brought here with the expectation that people thought he was going to be our best offensive lineman. Now he just has to be an average starter. You know, he doesn't need to be our best. He can be our 5th best, which is fine as long as he's not playing below average football, which is huge.
He started playing so well down the stretch before blowing his knee out on Christmas Eve, and that's the thing that I'm okay with him coming back. But my thing is, I focus so much on pissed off Jonah Williams that doesn't want to be playing right tackle. Do I really want to try him out there week 1?
Yeah, I do.
Because I mean, I know he's not going to try to mess his money up.
I also think Saldiveri could be here next round. I actually think so.
He's already I mean, not that ranks matter, but he's ranked way higher than what he's ranked like 128.
It's already been a fall.
Yeah. We considered him 2 rounds ago. And
so I mean, we haven't turned the pick in just yet. Do we want Saldiveri here, or do we want? Wow, I mean, I think we need to get a tight end.
I think that depends. We still have time. I was going to say, if we want to look at tight end and just say, okay, let's assume that we go with Nick Saldiveri here. Do we have other? Oh, never mind. We're going with Josh Wiley. You said it was the pick when we started. We're going with Josh.
Yeah, I don't know why that pick was turned in, but it was turned in.
We're good.
I feel like that might be a situation where Zach just kind of went around Duke real quick.
Yeah, that'd be something.
Honestly, I mean, looking at the other tight end options,
that's how you get cussed out in the GM's office.
If you're talking about Will Mallory or Payne Durham, man, I probably feel a lot better about Josh than I do either of those two. So I feel like as much as I like Nick, as much as I like Saldiveri.
We actually saw Durham go off the board right before that.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
There's Brenton Strange, some other interesting guys, but Wiley's still fine. He's a really good receiving tight end. He leaves some to be desired in the blocking game, but as a lot of young tight ends do, we talked about kind of needing to replace that Tyler Boyd kind of mold, and I think Wiley does that. It always helps, Cincinnati. That always helps too. Always bring some fans, keep them excited.
He already knows the chili.
Yeah,
right? So
he's good. He's got everything.
Let's keep it going.
Kenny McIntosh,
Kansas City. I guess they draft running back every single year.
Contrell Clark over to the Rams. I like that for them.
That's good by him. Going into round
Eric
6.
Gray.
There goes Ryan Hayes. I didn't want to put another Michigan guy in you guys' face. I like Ryan Hayes though.
Go. 2 more picks left for ourselves.
Nick
man.
Saldivar goes to the
there
Patriots.
Belichick got us.
That's
Belichick got him.
That son of a
Yep.
bitch.
Yep, that's about where he's gonna end up, I'm sure. Keaton Mitchell, Bill does it again.
Bill does it again. Bill screws me
He's
twice.
back. Bill is back.
Appreciate you,
Warren
Bill.
McClendon.
Sorry, we'll get you.
That's tough.
We'll get you back. No worries. Ronnie Bell.
That's the next Tyler Boyd.
Who?
Ronnie Bell. Dog. Monster.
You hire Michigan guys. This is what happens.
I'm telling you, man.
We got
I posted that like 3 weeks ago.
We got the Buffalo Bills here. Okay.
See what they do.
Okay.
Will
Will
Mallory.
Mallory.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple picks here. Corey Trice is still sitting here. That's an intriguing pick, right?
Why is Anthony Johnson falling so far?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because when I look at that, I almost said this a couple rounds ago. When I look at that, Nick Scott got a cheap deal.
2-year deal.
Yeah. So why not take a flyer on a safety that can maybe take over for that if that deal doesn't go the way it could, or you just want to get younger and cheaper at that position? But there's something there. He's fallen that far for a reason.
It's not about that. Not
I
about
mean,
that.
sometimes you draft Jesse Bates and he beats out of George Ioka. I mean, sometimes that thing happens, you know. So whether or not that would happen to a free agent that they just signed, probably not. But still, it's
not like he was big ticket though. $4 million
right. Well,
a year.
getting that Dax Hill before Jesse Bates walks, that's something that it does for you. Getting an Akeem Davis Gaither that helps give you a little more insurance before Jermaine Pratt walks. You know, that's the value of that. So I like Corey Trice there.
You like Corey Trice? Me too. I like Corey Trice too. Can we go to quarterback for a second?
I was getting ready to bring that up. When did we start looking for the
Quarterback,
backup of the future?
Well, I mean, I don't know about.
I think round 6 is a little early. I would rather look at round 7 or like a preferred walk-on, like undrafted free agent type deal. I just feel like you can still get some good players out here.
The Bengals are definitely kicking tires. I mean, Brandon Allen's still unsigned. They had to visit with Aiden O'Connell. They had a visit with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who I saw went. They brought in Trevor Siemian. So they're definitely looking at the backup.
Right.
I guess it just depends on if it's a guy that you want with some league experience or a young guy.
I think at this point, too, we kind of need to talk about double dipping in some positions. We waited on tight end. Maybe we consider drafting another one. We drafted Roshan. You know, we do like him, but maybe we want to get, just a pure pass catcher, speed guy. Maybe we want to go back on the defensive line. Maybe get more of a traditional 3-tech or even just a falling edge rusher.
Give me. Let's go to running back for a second, and then I want to go back to tight end after that because there's a guy that's sitting there that I kind of like.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ibrahim there's. That's another Big Ten guy. But he was a touchdown machine last year.
He was. I mean, Evan Hull, if we're talking about just strict compliments, he, catches a crap ton of passes, which, is pretty important in this Bengals offense. Something to consider. Travis Dye as well. Another one of those guys that just catches a lot of passes. Again, we're looking at compliments there at that situation.
Ibrahim before the injury.
Yeah, that's true. The injury is obviously a big concern.
I think he's very good too, but I think he's pretty similar to Roshan Johnson as well. So I think it's just like if you do draft them both, you're not that you're drafting the same player, but like they don't complement each other in like any regard. But he's good. He's good.
I feel like with this draft, we've sort of all had picks, right? That we like. I want to get to you. Your Trice pick.
I'm looking at corner because I want to see is Valentine still hiding somewhere on that board?
Oh yeah, he is.
I want to see if compare it and hear discussion about him and Trice, but I'm also interested in.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there.
I love you, man.
I'm also interested in the interior defensive line. Right, we've addressed edge. I would definitely like to see something that we can see at interior defensive line. So.
Or you know what? If we can also look at. I know we addressed edge already. But I just want to see if my guy from Georgia is still sitting there. Let's see.
Oh, we're looking at corners and edge right here.
No. Okay. So let's go to edge. Let's go to edge strictly.
This has a yeah. Cut them out.
Let's go to
real
edge
quick.
strictly.
Thank you, sir.
Doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't look like he's out there still.
Oh, wait a minute.
I talked about how much
what?
I liked.
Have you? Why are you? You disagree with me on every single pick.
Because,
on every single pick.
Again, it matters what everyone else views them as. I know it doesn't matter to you because you say it's going to be a good player, but at the same time, part of the gamesmanship in the NFL draft is saying we value this guy like a second rounder, but the rest of the league values him in round 5. So we will take him in round 3 or 4, right? I feel like this is a guy that you could get in the 7th round stab when we're sitting here with guys that we feel have starter potential at corner. And we have a dire need there in the upcoming season.
But we don't need another starting corner right now. We're in round 6, right? We're rolling the dice anyway.
Yeah, I will say, if you're talking upside here, I think Robert Beal is extremely tempting. Corey Trice is phenomenal as well. So is Carrington Valentine. Those are the 3 guys I'm looking at. But with Robert Beal, I mean, he ran a 4.48 as an edge rusher.
Yeah, that's
the Bengals don't have that kind of athlete really anywhere.
You know what we're gonna do here? I guess we gotta make the call.
We do. You do.
GM.
Making the tough decisions. I can't wait to blame you in the
for.
press conference after too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, I'm all over.
Let's go to corner for a second. Let's go to corner. Corey Trice is staring at me here. Do me one favor though. Before we do that, before I pull the trigger, before I feel good in my heart, I know we brought in Cameron Brown for a visit. I don't like him at all. Let's go to punter for a second.
All right, see, now we're talking because I'm about sick of Drew Chrisman.
Because special teams still wins. Special teams still wins in this league.
With better punts, I think there's a much higher chance the Bengals win the AFC Championship last year with better punts.
I agree.
Ah, man. I want to do it so bad, but I don't know if I can bring myself to right now because of what's sitting on the board.
I mean, do you think he's the best punter in the draft?
Yes.
I mean, he's a guaranteed starter at the end of the day. If you want to look at it that way, if you're trying to get a little push for it, he's a guaranteed starter.
You know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to see if he's going to be there in the next round. Give me Corey Trice.
I like it.
Give me Corey Trice here.
Gives you that bigger body corner.
I was going to say, man, you're getting a guy who's 6'3", 200 pounds. I mean, allowed a pass rating.
Why are we not clapping here? Why are we not clapping here?
Michael Turk, man. Field position wins games. He's Matt Turk's son, correct? It's in his blood, right?
Close enough. If it's not,
a little nepotism in the draft.
Corey Valentine goes to the Colts. Cameron Brown goes to San Fran. Where are we at?
Okay, we still got 13 picks to us. Ibrahim to Washington's a good fit. Still, it's a good pick too.
Press pause.
Elijah Higgins going. Okay, I see you.
Like that.
Chargers definitely can use.
How many more picks before we pick?
Wide receiver room.
All right, I'll take my chances. You
gotta trade up for this, man. Come on. Live a little.
Let's go.
Lonnie Phelps, local guy. D winners.
All right, we know what we're doing here.
Go ahead.
We need to discuss it, right?
Do your thing.
Special teams.
Give Darren Simmons his pick.
Taking Michael Turk from Oklahoma. Let's go.
Okay. All right. I'm back on
So
board.
I gambled.
I'm back on board.
No.
The gamble pays off for Voorhees. The gamble pays off for Turk.
There we go.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Well, hey,
gentlemen, this was a good draft.
It unfolded in a weird way.
Let's clap it up. This is
It
a good draft.
unfolded weird.
Now
But here we are.
Draft's over. We got to get on the phone. We got to call Max Dugan.
All right, well, it's time to look at all these picks that we went through, right? We drafted Emmanuel Forbes in the first round at corner. I'm sure we all feel good about that one.
Right.
Thule in the second round, edge / 3-tech, I guess, from USC. Roshan Johnson. We was created a deal on that one.
I like that one.
That's the positional value.
You know?
Yeah.
They also, I don't think PFF has updated their board. I think you'll see some more updates coming out. Just a week ago, I think they had Darnell Wright still in the 60s or 70s. Yeah. I know they just got to his, so I expect a lot more updates coming from Mike and the crew there.
And value with Roshan there too. You won't see the value of that until Jonah Williams gets blown off the right edge and he's there to pick it up. You have Burrow an extra second to hit chase downfield. That's positional value to me.
So you know, I like this. I like this draft a lot for us. I thought that this was definitely not, you know, the way we assumed it was going to play out the way when we first did it. But I feel like I would say my favorite pick throughout this entire one had to be Andrew Voorhees.
I was just looking at that too, man. The way the back half of this draft unfolded for us, where we got a lot of really good players at good spots, I really feel good about the back half of that draft.
I think the thing that I like about this draft, again, it is different, but I think it's a very good mix of people that can come in and help us now while giving you some pretty good upside throughout the entire draft. I mean, we just talked about with Voorhees. Malik said he can be an all-pro kind of guy to him. You know, he's super, super strong. Josh Wiley, a good receiving tight end. Corey Trice is going to give you a big body corner to, where we have Emmanuel Forbes, your lighter corner. You have a smaller corner, and Cam Taylor-Britt kind of really rounds out that room. And then the best punter in the draft. It's a perfect mix of safetyness, need for now with some upside down the board.
And again, if you guys can do us a huge favor, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do me a favor. In the comment section, tell us what your favorite draft pick was. The overall draft grade was an A-. Tell us who your favorite pick in this draft was for us. Again, first round, Emmanuel Forbes. Wasn't my personal favorite pick, but I took one for the team there on that one. Thule was the second round pick. Scroll up a little bit, please. Roshan Johnson went in the 3rd round. Andrew Voorhees in the 4th round. Josh Weil, tight end from Cincinnati, in the 5th. Corey Trice, cornerback, in the 6th from Purdue, who honestly shouldn't have been there still. And
an A+ pick there at 206.
And you know what? We drafted the right guy in the 6th round and took a chance that the best punter wasn't going to be, we took a chance and we weren't positive that he wasn't going to be there, right? But he was there. He's staring at us in the face, and I think we all feel good about this draft. I think Andrew Voorhees is going to be a guy that's going to be able to come in and start for us a year from now and be a game changer for us. I think Corey Trice has huge cornerback upside. Emmanuel Forbes has huge cornerback one upside, and I think this makes you feel a lot less pressed, to sign Chidobe Awuzie back at all costs.
I think it helps get you a little bit younger on defense too, because you see there's going to be a transition coming up with this Bengals defense and the team itself in the next year or two, right? You look at how the money is allocated. You've got a lot of money spent on that D-line between Hubbard, between Reeder, between Hendrickson, all guys who are approaching 30. You've got Cheeto is going to be coming off the books as he gets a little bit older and this contract expires. You definitely, and especially as you're handing out expensive contracts to Joe Burrow, to Jamar Chase, to Orlando Brown, you're talking about now the shift is going to be going from spending that money to veterans on defense, which has been their MO the last couple of years, to now we're going to do that on offense. So this helps you get younger, cheaper, more athletic on defense, which I think are all good things for this team as they transition.
And this is in line with what I said after the draft last year when they took Daxton Hill. I said, the plan is going to be this. You've got to pay Burrow. It sounds like they're really trying to pay Higgins. There's not a chance Jamar Chase leaves. So I said last year when they started picking Daxton Hill, I said, this is where we're going. We're going to pay our offense. We're going to have to draft our defense. And this is really in line with that. Obviously, Voorhees falling to the 4th is because of the knee injury.
Absolutely. And that was a gift from God for us. Well, anyway, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us on the Mock Draft War Room 2.0 presented by First Star Logistics. Catch us next week live on State of the Jungle for the Mock Room War Room 3.0. We'll be back here going through all 7 picks. Maybe we'll see some trades in there. We didn't do a lot of trades this time around. But as always, we want to thank you guys for following, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and giving this video a like as well. As we announced early on the show, April 28th, the first ever First Star Logistics Bengals annual draft party. We can't wait to spend that Friday with you guys going through the Bengals 2nd and 3rd round pick. It's going to be exciting. The State of the Jungle crew will be there. Dave Lapham will be there, and yours truly will be there as well. So again, we hope that you guys are looking forward to that. Make sure you guys keep it locked to our social medias, because in the coming days, we will have more information in terms of tickets and how to acquire those things for you guys. But until then, we hope that you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you next time